Hey guys, we're live. We're live. Dada, Idris. I say Idris, sorry, David. Idris. We're waiting for Idris. How have you guys been? Any fun summer activity so far?
Yeah, man.
No, go ahead, David.
I went on vacation finally after.
Okay. Where did you go?
Where'd you go?
Yeah, I went to Panama City, Florida. So that was
Nice.
yeah, that was an interesting time. Our flight got delayed 2 days, so we were paying for rental and our Airbnb for 2 days. Couldn't get out there because of the storm, and then the tropical storm, and then
Hey guys,
we got Josh. What's up, man?
Hi, Josh.
I'm doing okay.
You guys came out in full force. Okay, this Chelsea man, all coming out full force.
How's it going?
That's how we roll, man. That's how we roll. Rolling.
Nice, nice.
We're gonna need Hakeem here, man.
Where is Idris? Oh, that's him right there.
What's that, Idris?
How you doing, gentlemen?
The full team is
looking
here.
Shout out to the Emperor in the house.
Man, you guys are just drinking, man. Let me get my own drink now.
It's not, bro. It's water. It's water.
It's a Chelsea podcast.
Water. Don't be an alcoholic.
Okay.
Water.
Mine
We're looking
is
for a reason to drink.
I mean, don't let us hold you back, man. Do what you need to do.
I'm looking for an excuse to drink, so let me drink, bro. It's water.
Let me get some water then.
Okay, no problem. When you come back, we'll introduce everybody.
I'm getting some feedback. I'm not sure whose mic is.
Funny, I just left Hakeem's right now, actually, because I was just getting my measurements taped and done.
Oh, Hakeem.
Getting
Okay.
this.
Yeah, I was actually at his place. That's why I saw he was closing up, and I was just like, oh shit, I got to like run back and join the podcast. I only knew that was joining. I didn't know that the whole gang was coming on. So
This is pretty much our WhatsApp group. This is pretty much a WhatsApp group. Missing two people.
This is the toxic WhatsApp group, bro.
The toxic WhatsApp group, the Chelsea group. Okay. Well, let me introduce everyone.
Okay.
Close knit.
Let me
This
introduce
is
everyone.
Chelsea safe place. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. If you're watching, like, share, subscribe. This is the Chelsea pod, review pod. I'll start from my right. Then we have David joining us. He was very popular with the match reactions last season. They tried that last one, the final one. David was in Cloud 9. The next is Dada, also Emperor of our Facebook group. Thanks for joining, Dada. Then it's Mr. the Jorginho lover.
Who is that?
Idris is the Jorginho lover.
Okay.
I like to call him that. Jorginho continually proves him wrong, but Idris still.
I'm a convert already, though.
Yeah, convert now.
You're a half convert.
We call him Father Abraham in our group.
And the last well, is Mr. Josh, the Mr. Two Clubs. These days it seems it's more Chelsea now, but before Josh was 2 or 3 clubs.
Yeah, I mean those other clubs are like ad hoc, you know. Whenever Chelsea is not winning, I tend to lean more on those other clubs. So
The backup. Side cheeks.
side cheeks.
For everyone that's joining us in the comments, share, like, subscribe. We're going to be looking at quick recap. We're not going to spend too much time of last season. We know you guys won. It's okay. We know you guys are champions of Europe. It's okay. Just rate the season over 10 and why. Just a quick summary. We'll talk about your transfer window. Chelsea hasn't not done any transfer so far, right? No confirmed transfer yet. Then oh yeah, okay, that's true. Expectations for next season. Before we go, let me just quickly take comments. Comments are flooding in already. First comment, Facebook user says you already know, probably a Chelsea fan, I assume. All these Chelsea guys have started again. I don't know what you guys have started, but oh, okay. Kenny said all this India history started in 2005. Well,
hey, Amazon started in 2005. Look at them now.
No, do them.
That I can't.
Tell them about BlackBerry and draw a correlation with BlackBerry.
I know, right?
Club, please.
I beg Georgie will be all right. Yeah, they are telling you that Georgie will be all right. Idris, I think this one it supports your Georgie hate. Whoever
Idris has actually he's a convert now. He watched Giorgio and that Italy squad and his mind changed.
I had to accept certain things are just not what debatable anymore.
Yeah. I respect that. Yinka says Chelsea champs of Europe.
Yeah, you can say that again, Yinka.
6/10. That's kind of low. Someone says 6/10 for Chelsea season. That's kind of, in my opinion, that's low. Who champions?
Yeah, that's low, man.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
I would say more like 8/10. You know,
8 or above. I mean,
yeah, not less than 8. You know,
just go ahead now. Since you've already started. Wait the season.
I believe we had a solid season. Getting into 2 finals, the FA Cup and the Champions League, and building off of the previous season, from where we adopted or included so many youths into our squad. So I think it's a successful season relatively, because it's not easy, especially for the new coach having a new coach in the middle of the season, coming in and inculcating into the players his system and getting results from that and getting into 2 finals. So I think it's relatively a successful season, if you ask me. So,
yeah, I'd second that. I'd say it was a 9 out of 10, and the reason I'll give it a 9 higher than what he gave is because on paper that Chelsea team deserved to win something. Right? When we were spending all that money to Kai Havertz and all these guys, and we spent money. We spent a lot of money, and that team deserve to win stuff. In fact, that FA Cup that we lost, we should have won that one too, right? We should have finished very strong because some of the games that we end up losing were just like fluke, where it's like we tried and we just couldn't convert chances. Nah, that was a good, first half of the season just was terrible. It was awful, right? Lampard just lost the plot, and I think he was punching. He punched above his weight the first season. This Chelsea team needed to perform at the level that they did towards the end. And for me, the fact that Tuchel was able to take that team and just do a plan B, it's not his full tactics or anything. It's just let's salvage a season. He salvaged the season by getting us to the final, which we should have won, getting us to the Champions League final, beating some really tough opponents. It wasn't an easy path up there, right? With the people that we beat, it was beat Man City 3 times, bro. It wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
3 times. The third time I was like, oh, because we beat them twice, there's no way we're going to beat them in the final. We beat them. That's our final. We earned it, right? So for me, that was a solid season, and that wasn't even an opportunity for Tuchel to really exert himself. It was just salvage mode, and salvage turned into something great.
Okay. I'll take comments before we move on to data. Yinka says, I tip you guys to win the league this coming season. We'll see. I can bet against Chelsea for sure, but we'll see. The league is different from a knockout competition. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of competition this season, especially with teams like your team, United, and City getting some of these new players. City is getting to complete what's his name? The signing of Grealish this week, and they're also going for Harry Kane. And United already got two big players, so it's going to be a big competition for Chelsea. So I wouldn't conclude anything right now until the season gets started, So let's see how it goes. And Liverpool is still there too.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That says solid. Getting to final twice and not winning it. Also, don't forget Spurs helped us get top 4 without Champions League, but thankfully they won Champions League. Okay. That's a downer for if you're a Chelsea fan. You're thinking if I won Champions League, I'm just saying, guys, what will listen to this pod? If Manchester United won the Champions League throughout this summer, like everything I'm saying Champions League, European champion. I'm introducing myself as a European. Like you guys don't know what you want, but let's keep it moving. Like 10. Wow. Okay, this guy is well. I think your standards are so high. Dada, rate the season. Let's go.
Yeah, so for me, if I was to rate the season, I guess you can't give it a 10 because a 10 over 10 means you won all the trophies you can win. So from that perspective, you guys, is there an echo? Can you guys?
Yeah, I'm getting feedback. I think it's from you, Josh. Are you using speakers?
Okay, Dara, go ahead.
Okay. All right, cool. Much better now. So as I was saying, I think for Chelsea, honestly, I'd give us a 9.5 over 10, just because a perfect season is you won all the trophies you can win. And the reason why I say 9.5 is, I guess with football, you really need context, right? So we were in a slump post-Lampard, and Tuchel came and really transformed the team. So prior to Tuchel coming, I guess our season was maybe a 5 over 10 or 4 over 10. And then Tuchel came and performed way above expectations. So all of a sudden, we went from almost going trophyless to, trophyless, not finishing top 4, not winning any title. And also, more importantly, we had a lot of players that were out of favor. So we had a lot of degrading assets. So players like, Alonso, Zuma, Christensen, they were depreciating a lot fast. So Tuchel came, improve all those players to where now in the market we can actually get a decent price for those players. So I think that's something that even outside of a trophy that we need to account for, because at the end of the day, football is a business. So if you can get good value for your players, that's good. Second of all, winning the Champions League was a massive big deal. To me, I did not expect us to even get that far. I think I started to believe after we beat Atletico. That's why I was like, well, maybe this can happen. And then also, we finished top 4. Not only did we finish top 4, we also finished top 4 with all the players in form. Not like, there was a lot of doubts. Like we finished top 4, we knew what we were getting. We knew Timo had potential. We knew Havertz had potential. Jojo was playing good. All our players were playing good. So we finished top 4 with decent momentum into this season. So all things considered, I'll put that as a 9.5 for me, because it was almost like, in a way, it's like we look like we're free falling, and all of a sudden we got this nice parachute and we came up top. So for me, that was a very, very good season for us if you put it in the context of where we started. Now, without that context, I think the season was an 8 over 10 or a 9 over 10, but 9.5 for me, like just really good really, really good performance all through. I have nothing to complain about. FA Cup would have been nice to win, but also too, football is funny, man. We could have won that FA Cup. The players could have got in, mentally unprepared for the Champions League. So I felt that we were competing for three things: top four, FA Cup, and Champions League final. There was no way we can win all three, and I think the best combination was a 2 out of 3, and we won the best 2 out of 3. So.
Okay. Good analysis, I think. Yuka says, though he supported City to win the Champions League, but thank goodness you guys did, because Pep would have done in Madrid, winning 2 times in a row with the kind of team he's trying to assemble. That's a fair point. Mr. Idris, what are your thoughts? Chelsea last season.
Last season for me was a 10. As soon as you win the Champions League, it was a 10. And for me, why was it a 10? Chelsea. We'll bring a legend, punches above his weight, comes in, screws up, fire him, win the Champions League. Chelsea. Simple.
I think sorry, Aegis, to be quite frank, I think that was the most Chelsea way of winning a Champions League.
Sure.
If you kind of look at our business model and how we roll, that was just like everything about winning that Champions League at Chelsea written all over it. Right.
And
so
with a very good coach on a 6-month contract. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's like, we'll find a club legend. The owner of the club who never talks.
Yeah.
Had to release a press statement because he fired his boy, tries to get everybody on board back, gets this guy on a 6-month contract, ask him to prove himself. Guy wins the Champions League. I mean, it's a Chelsea way of doing things. I mean, it's
proven to work time over time, right? Who was that? Some guy there that can't even show his face said their history started 2005. Yeah. Well, we're making history right now. Some people are living on past glory. Right? Where was the last time you won it? Let him tell me his club. I want to know.
He can't. When people talk like that, they're Arsenal fans, right? Remember that screenshot I put in the group, and I said never.
Probably that Johano capable guy, man.
But funny though, all jokes apart, though, I think what Chelsea has done is Chelsea has kind of reinvented how people think of coaching and managerial roles, because I think prior to us, it used to be you needed longevity to win things, and Chelsea just came in and like, man, the same way you can fire a CEO overnight, you can fire a manager, but the structure of the club above has to be intact. And I think that's the key thing. So I think above that level, Chelsea has a very good structure, and they've realized that, managers are interchangeable as long as you have a good structure. So I think that's really what helped us. Like, Tuchel wasn't coming into a rundown club, they had a very good structure in place, and maybe the motivation, and also too, Tuchel was hungry. He needed to prove himself, right? After the whole PSG, quote unquote debacle, he needed to prove himself. So, Chelsea was like, look, come here, prove yourself. If you do well, you got it. So
I'll also add to the point that when you look at the structure, I think part of things, like Chelsea just doesn't spend. Yes, we are notorious for losing money on strikers. That one is, I think it's a curse. I don't even know where to place that. But when you look at strategically how we spend, why we spend, the commercial part of it, and also the gains of what we've done, you would see that no matter. I think it was after Mourinho's second coming. Even with the way we change managers, it's been strategic. We've not really just gone out and fired a manager, right? Like Antonio Conte came in, he had to actually create a stink, like he did in Juventus, like he did in Inter Milan, for us to fire him. Sarri was just unfortunate, he had a very people like me just did not buy into what he was doing, and it was just unfortunate. Because when you look back, hindsight is 2022, right? On how things were managed. But then again, he was just, maybe the board didn't feel he was carrying everybody along, and he was ushered out in the most respectful manner. Lampard came in, picked up the pieces, punched way above his weight to get into top 4, way with what we had. I didn't even believe we were going to end up top 5, and that can attest to me. He didn't want to see Lampard, and I get why he did not want to see Lampard there. But the job was not an attractive job for any senior manager. But then again, Chelsea being Chelsea finds themselves in the Champions League with a whole bunch of kids that are now worth like 40, 50, 40 to a million that we're just offloading off our books, and then fire the same legend within a 3-week span. Because let's be honest, everybody says the half of the season was shit. I will not say I beg to disagree. I may just differ a bit, because Lampard's problem started once he stopped scoring goals, and that was just
that's true.
But everybody has seen it. Everybody.
I think his problem also came with the defensive woes. We were just leaking a lot of goals for no reason, and it seemed like he was confused. He didn't know what to do. He looked confused sometimes. He didn't have that commanding presence on the touchline.
In my honest opinion,
and also his lack of experience didn't help his case.
Yes,
so.
I think he became an ideologue, something we rallied against in the past. We rallied against Sarri, an ideologue. Then he comes in after trying not to be an ideologue. Then the next season he goes, "I don't like you. You're out. I'm not playing to you back." Became an ideologue, and you know what? Chelsea did what Chelsea does. Sorry, bro, we love you. Your picture is here, but the door is that way. Bring him to Champions League. So I mean,
I think he didn't have bet. I just think he didn't have a clear plan. I don't think he became an ideologue. If he became an ideologue, he didn't just have a clear plan, because he switched. He switched from kind of what he was trying to do the season before to he didn't have a clear plan regarding the players I'm buying. Let me put it this way: his squad construction was poor, because the talent there you guys recruited were good. But he could the squad construction was poor. He didn't recruit any players to any plan. That was what happened to Lampard. He didn't recruit to a plan.
He was just buying players and trying to leverage them in the wrong way. I have to agree with I on this. I've said this before. He was buying players and he had no concept of how he was going to leverage those players. I just want my players to be 110%. That's not coaching.
Rally boys coach.
You remember that?
Hey guys, we get match on Saturday.
It wasn't a coincidence.
But here's the only thing I beg to differ a bit again is when they say there's a thin line between bravery and stupidity, right? When you pull it off, you have a plan. Once it doesn't work, you're clueless, in the sense that he actually went for these players. I think the only player he didn't get was Declan Rice, right? They had a whole season to plan what he wanted. What I had the problem was he bought a bunch of young, very capable guys, and this is where his inexperience kicks in. You understand? Yeah. It's not working. Go back to what you were doing before. Bring in Rudiger, bring in Alonso, talk to Jorginho, whatever you have to do, shut up back. But he did not do that. That's why I said he became
change formation. Right?
Change it. That was what we killed Sarri. And he goes,
stop leaking goals and worry about
it. But Lampard is not a tactician, though.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's
so he lacked tactics. You can see it clearly. He didn't know anything about tactics. He just inshallah, coach.
I find it hard because again, here's the thing: it did not work out. He got
that's life.
That's life. You tried, it didn't work, and you didn't know how to adjust, right?
Or how do you move on to transfer window?
Yeah. So let me.
True. I can't debate with you. I honestly, I'm trying to make the case, but again, you guys are right in the sense that at the end of the day, we guys look the report card.
Yes, exactly. So I want us to move on also. Let's move on. Let me do comment. Says we could have won all three. These are the bio. My standards are not too high. All three. What final did you guys get to? I'm confused.
Top four. It doesn't matter. That top four is the final. Arsenal fans can be commenting here. We'll add top four.
Next comment. Next comment is from Samuel Wurala. Says experience is key. That is true. That is very, very true. What's the last thing he said? No, everybody's a pep. Lampard took the job prematurely. I agree. That's also
I agree.
I would have taken the job too.
Everybody take the job. So let's talk about transfer window. I'll go to Josh. Josh, is there a way you can probably jump in and jump back, jump out and jump back in? Maybe the sound improve
Yeah,
because you're getting
yeah.
so much
Like
feedback.
when others are speaking, I try to mute it. So
Okay, let's just talk. Then. What are your thoughts transfer window so far? You guys are like so far. I think people have brought in a goalkeeper. You're linked to Lukaku. You're
yeah,
linked to Haaland for a little bit. Like my question is, how do you rate it so far, and what areas do you think you guys need to recruit for?
I mean, the area that we need to improve is very obvious. It's a point man. We need
Okay.
a lethal striker, you know. And I'm happy that Chelsea is putting in that pressure on Inter Milan and trying to get Lukaku. Um, the inner part of me would have wanted Haaland, you know, because he's relatively young. He's like 7 years when compared to Lukaku, younger, and he's also that bully striker, you know. And I think he will fit in well into the Chelsea system. But Lukaku is also EPL proven, and he's in his prime right now. I think he's like 28 or 29. So in the situation where we don't have any striker, any dependable striker that is available right now, I think going for Lukaku makes sense in the absence of Haaland. Um, so I would say, so we need a point man. In the other areas, I think we're capable. We are sufficient in other areas. The defense, the midfield. I think we have a lot of young talents. I think we have a lot of players that, when coached very well, they can produce and put out good numbers. So yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks we can get Lukaku.
Okay. So that's the position you think you need.
Yeah, that's the most needed position right now.
Okay. David, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I would agree with what Josh said. So a lot of us are going to pretty much share the same sentiments since we talk about this stuff in our WhatsApp group. But I on paper, the Chelsea squad is set. We're good. We really don't need anybody else right now on paper. But the reality is that we've been creating so many chances that we've not been converting. And so we know that we need a finisher up top. We need somebody that influences the game, which was Tammy's one big setback. Tammy Abraham is a good goal finisher. Like if you get him in front of goal and you get the ball to him, he'll score it. The problem is when he doesn't have the ball and we don't have that, he's not helping with that to influence the actual outcome of the game, come back, press, steal balls. But he actually did that in this preseason. But I think Tuchel's not really, sold on him. So I think we needed a Haaland or Lukaku. I'm perfectly fine with either one of those, or even Harry Kane. But obviously, that was out of. There's no way Spurs would be selling Kane to us. I actually prefer Lukaku over Haaland, and the pure reason is because Lukaku has been tried and tested in EPL. He understands the league. There's not going to be any of these BS like, oh, it's a new league for him. This guy's at his prime. He's coming in. What are we going to get? We're going to get Everton Lukaku, or actually, I believe Everton Lukaku was the same Lukaku that was Manchester United, but there was different wolves troubling the team that manifested itself in, oh, look at this Lukaku screwing up our chances, right? He's not he doesn't have a good first touch. I think that Lukaku is really the only place that we need, like a striker is the only thing that we need right now just to start fixing the malfunctions of Werner. Everything else is just shaken up, like the Zuma stories on the transfer about like getting rid of him. I'm getting this guy from what's his name, Kunde, or I don't know how you pronounce his name, but the shorter center back. To me, yeah. So I think the way I picture some of that is that really you've won the Champions League. You don't want complacency to set in. You want to shake up the squad just enough without changing the core. And Zuma makes sense to get rid of because he never looks comfortable on the ball. Like he looks so clumsy. Like he's always leaning over. He's not good at playing out of the back for pressure. He's good at defending, but like Tuchel wants ballers. He wants natural ballers, and he wants to play at the back. And Zuma is not a natural baller. Like he's forces Jorginho errors or back pass a goalie that's not that good, and his passing range is also not that great. Like if you're really good switching to Reece James or driving forward, you don't really get that from Zuma. So I think it makes sense. Midfield, that's a tough one. We have a lot of players in midfield. They probably won't touch it. I don't think it doesn't make any sense to do anything in the midfield right now. So overall, I'm happy with the transfer. I'm happy that we're pushing for Lukaku. I hope we get him. I think we'll get him. The money will turn heads, but I'll give it a thumbs up for Chelsea.
Okay. Dada, what are your thoughts so far? Transfer window. What holds you to plug? Are you satisfied? Just the striker.
So it's pretty obvious. I think I've been talking about my dissatisfaction with the transfer window for almost 3 weeks now. I mean, everyone in the forum sees my memes, my trolls. Everyone knows how I feel. So especially after United got Sancho and Varane, that kind of got me worried because the last thing so the thing is, if you have a crappy transfer window, you hope that everyone else around you has a crappy transfer window. So, eventually it balances out. But when you have a situation where all your competitors are threatening, that is scary. So I was very, very worried, and I'm still worried. Interestingly enough, there's a flip side to the transfer window that we're not talking about is we have a lot of players that we need to get rid of. I was actually surprised to know that Drinkwater is still playing for Chelsea. So is Baba Yako. So is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So we have at least 5-6 players that are you can bench them, but I'd rather use Kepa is still on the team.
Zappacosta
is still on the team.
Baba
Rahman.
Yes.
That Baba Rahman's one shocked me, man. I was like, what?
There are a lot of players, and I don't even want to loan them. They just need to get them off the roster, get them off the wages, get the income, and do something with it. Now, is it going to be enough money to offset the Lukaku transfer? No, but there's just something to be said for having a trim, organized team. Because the more folks you have, the more likelihood you have to have discontent in the team. So just get rid of this dead weight. So that's one of the side. One thing I want to see in the transfer window. The second thing is, and I've been saying this all day, we need a finisher. We need a striker. I don't care if it's Haaland. I don't care if it's Lukaku. If it's Lukaku's mom, I don't give a shit. Someone who can score goals. So, and I've been really happy this past 2 days of all the news that I'm seeing. I don't want to get overly excited until I see him holding the jersey. That's when I will get excited. So it's looking like, right now it's a 40% chance that we're going to get Lukaku. I think once we get Lukaku, I hope we get Declan Rice because I'm hoping that because it's looking like Zuma wants to go to West Ham. And the reason for Declan Rice is place to deliver. Okay. Anyways, we'll talk about comments later. But the reason for Declan Rice is because of Kante. I'm a little bit concerned about Kante's fitness and his ability to deliver at the high level going forward. So we're going to need a Kante-like player. So I think having someone to pair with Jorginho would be great. So I think for us to have a transfer window that I'm going to be happy with, we close Lukaku, we get Declan Rice, and we offload at least 5 of these dead weight players. That would make me really happy.
Okay.
And lastly, sorry, to David's point and Josh's point, I think everywhere else was stacked. The other defender coming in, I'm honestly indifferent. That's great. I have a lot of faith in Rudiger. Now, Thiago Silva, I don't know how much playtime he would get this year, so having another center back as backup would be great. So yeah.
Okay. Before we go to Idris, Siaman says Chelsea sold Lukaku for 28 million, plans to buy him for 100 million plus. Pray he delivers unless it end the premium trolling from Arsenal fans. Not just Arsenal fans. I'm coming.
From Arsenal fans? I don't get it. Wait, I'm curious. Why Arsenal fans? What do we have to do with them?
We'll win another EPL trophy after the
I'm coming.
Yeah, maybe United fans.
with fire and brimstone. I'm coming.
Well,
I'm just letting you guys know.
AY, before you come, remember Pogba. You guys did the same thing basically, right?
No. Pogba has worked out. What do you mean? Because there are no
to be honest,
Okay.
AY, real quick. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of all this. You sold a player, bought a player, blah blah blah. Man, there's a lot of factors that goes into player development. Like they're literally players who, if you had kept them at your club, they would have sucked. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like maybe you selling them was the impetus they needed to be a better player. That's how valuation works. So I mean, for example, like I'm pretty sure there are a lot of youth academy players that you had at the age of 5 and now they're 25 and they're not good. So I mean, to me, that's a BS argument. So
and to put it right, when those players, most of the times we've seen most of those cases, like Lukaku, for instance, the other players like KDB, Salah, when they were in Chelsea, they were very, very young. Like they were in, you can compare them to the level of the senior players playing in their positions at that time. So it makes sense that you allow them to go to other clubs, gain experience, than just keeping them in the club, So there was no argument, there was no basis to say, oh, we shouldn't have sold them, Some of them wants to leave, they want to get more play time. So it makes sense for the club to just offload them at that time, So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's fair. Agenda was agenda. I'm just letting you. All I want to just say is just grammar. When if it doesn't work out, I'll still run my agenda. That's how we do it. We don't care about that. That was just grammar. I will throw my agendas to the end. Someone last comment says too much dead weight in Chelsea's dressing room sent Tammy to Arsenal in a year. I don't know if Chelsea fans want that. Idris do not want that for sure. I know that.
We'll send them Thiago Silva in 2 years.
Yeah, that would fit their profile.
That would fit their model. Idris, transfer window. Let's go. What are your thoughts?
Striker for one reason. I love my kids, Tammy. I love all the academy boys because I actually do follow academy coming through. I'll push back on a few statements from Dada and Josh regarding like, yeah, you sell them, you loan them. Yes, you're right in terms of like if they stayed, there was no room for growth for them. That statement is 100% fact, can't be denied. Sure. But I also noticed the recruitment now of Chelsea coaches over the years has been with some strategy telling them that like there are boys in there, we need them to get some form of playing time in some way. Because there was honestly a time it was a dead end. They get to U20s, U23, there was no coming through, And Cobham is known to have, in the last 5 years, having the best academy in the entire country. They're even saying to a large extent in Europe at this point. So if you have such a creme de la creme bunch of players, right? I get it. If they play 30 minutes cameos till they can actually win over their jersey, like Mason Mount did, like even Ruben Loftus-Cheek under Sarri, Hudson-Odoi when he gets his chances. Time when we thought it was dead and buried, and he'll still come out and still try and get 1 or 2 goals, even when we know it doesn't fit, the current Tuchel plan. There's just a can-do spirit and a level of talent we have that having them go without some form of buyback clause or without that loan system that we actually, apparently, we invented this loan system thanks to Emenalo. Right, where we send out players to go get paid, come back, get some time again this season, you fit. So I think the model works. I really do think we need to push. This Zuma situation we're talking about is very annoying because there are 2 top defenders we let go because they were young or they wanted to go. Tomori has no buyback clause. That boy is a baller. There should be no reason why we're talking about Kaunde in Sevilla. There should be no reason. Yes, KDB, Salah. When we think about how KDB and Salah left, they only have 1 or 2 seasons. One in Bundesliga, one in AS Roma, and became these beasts that they are right now in the clubs that they went to. Lest we forget, Mason Mount was about the same age when Mourinho almost killed a bunch of talents in Chelsea.
2 seasons. Salah had 2 seasons.
2 seasons, sorry. Thanks for correcting me, boss.
A lot can happen in 2 seasons, though.
No, and I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But when you look at the amount of players we loaned out that came back to salvage our season when we had the transfer ban, as you said, We need to, and we've used them to raise money. So I think, in my opinion, I'd rather keep a kid that is settled in Chelsea that will give blood and sweat, not thinking about money or anything for the club, than to bring another guy in that might cause us a problem like 2-3 years. Nothing against Timo Werner. Well, I won't say nothing against Timo Werner, but fuck, if the guy can score at least half, just half. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. Even Timo, I don't want to see him go. And the reason why after Timo is a little bit.
Wait, is Timo leaving? I thought he's staying.
No. There was one rumor.
Oh, that's been killed. That's been
There's a rumor. But if that bro, don't say that. If that guy doesn't score goals this season, that guy is part of a deal leaving Chelsea next season. Because what's going to happen? Okay, well, I'll make the point and I'll hand over to you. I want to hear why you say so.
Yeah,
what's going to happen is we're shelving right now 130 million plus. I don't know 20 plus. Sorry, that could get up to 30 million and potentially plus a player for Lukaku, a player we had, as CMR said, for that we sold for 28 mil. For Lukaku, why are we buying Lukaku? For everything everybody has said, yeah, Josh, Dada, and Dave, he's Premier League tested. He's bagged the minimum of 15 to 20 goals. We know he can do it. My only issue with Haaland is he looks like everything Diego Costa, Drogba, Misk. He's still a kid, and he plays in a league that we got Timo Werner from, that is notoriously known for playing high line defenses. I think it was even you, AY, that pointed that to me.
But it ain't Haaland though. Nah, Haaland ain't. No.
No, I'm not saying he's gonna suck. No, that's not what I'm saying. Still a kid, man.
The only reason. So to be very honest with you, when I made that comment about I don't care what striker we get, I genuinely mean that. And the reason why I said that is it's glaringly obvious that we need a striker.
We need a finisher.
Preferably, I'd prefer Haaland just because of the run time. You know, you get more years out of him. But I'm one of those people, and I could be wrong, and I'm willing to put money on it that anywhere Haaland goes next season, he will ball. Anywhere.
Yes.
You can go play in Qatar, 120 degrees, he will ball.
I'm sincerely careful about that for one reason.
We could put money on it right now.
I'm sincerely careful about that for one reason: his age. Right, he's a freaking talent. There's no two ways about it.
Anyone like 19 or something?
He's 19, right?
20.
He look like he's 25.
Idris, he's a talent. My issue is the Premier League. I think we really do underestimate how grueling this league is for attackers specifically. And when somebody gives you an average of 15 goals, whether he fits your system, whether he's awkward, if he's a defender that scores 5, I mean, Zuma give us 5 as he bumbles over the ball constantly. There's just a certain level certain players give you in the Premier League that you need to pay. Like, they have experience, they are good. Is the next person coming in going to be better? Do they have experience? That's why I feel more comfortable with Lukaku. And he's 28.
Yeah. So let me say this to you.
2-3 years down the line, Werner and Kai will grow into that level. If Tammy is here, fine.
They'll never go to that level. Not to wait.
You have it.
No, they could, bro. Because the same Werner we're killing right now. That guy banged like almost 30 goals before he came to Chelsea. This is my point. Like, he, at some point, the spotlight has to get off them so that he can do what they naturally can do. And at the older striker, it will help them. A younger striker, for me, is just, okay, another competition. They're going to get unsettled. 1 or 2 of them is going to leave. And if anything happens to this striker, he rolls his ankle or rolls knee, we are back to where we were with Batshuayi as the backup. That's my fear.
Oh, there's another person we need to let go of.
He's actually not bad as a second string, like, you know.
You talking about Batshuayi?
Yeah, Batshuayi.
Batshuayi should not be a 6th string,
bro. Let's not do
that. In this team, like, so here's
how.
Let me just say a few things here, Idris. You have to look at Chelsea's chances created. Right, last season you and I went back and forth so many times where I kept trying to derive the value of Werner in that team, and I'm like, hey, bro, it's not all about the goals. Those chances that are being created, the goal that we scored, that Kai Havertz scored to seal the final. If Werner wasn't there and he didn't draw that defender Laporte out, that pass isn't going through, right? So, it's the stuff that he does, the influence he has in the game. The fact that defenses have to always be very nervous and watch that back line, because if he makes a diagonal and gets ahead of them, they're done, right? He may not finish it, he may finish it, but even a blind scorer finds a nut every now and then, right? So the point is that any striker that you bring in, including Tammy, the chances that we were creating and squandering, he will score it. Tammy will score it. If Tammy was playing in that team and those chances were being created, we'll be converting all of them. The problem is we need a striker that plugs into the team and offers the goals and offers the influence for the build-up, right? Which Tammy was not. Tammy was, give me the ball. When you give me the ball,
Yeah,
I'll
like
score,
finish.
right?
I'll
Finish it. And so Haaland can finish. Haaland can score. Haaland can. It doesn't matter whether it's a different league. He will influence the game. And with this Chelsea team, if we're still connecting and creating chances the way we are, he'll kill it.
Because
David's
I
point,
believe
though,
Lukaku.
it's easy to be a striker in this Chelsea team.
This is a gift. Like it's
easy to be a striker in this Chelsea team.
This current Chelsea team, bro.
Yes.
This current Chelsea team.
Should I tell you why?
It's a coach's wet dream, huh?
Should I tell you why?
I've said it.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Remember when we had Diego Costa, where Costa actually had to like work for goals. In this Chelsea team, you don't have to, because if you go look at our statistics, Chelsea had the highest expected goals out of all the teams in the league, right? So if you have a lot of expected goals, guess what you need? You just need someone to take those expectations into reality. That's it. Trust me. It's easy for you to be a striker. You know why? Yes, why? Because you got like players like Timo Havertz that's going to be doing all the pacey running around for you. They're already creating the space for you. All you got to do is just literally show up and finish. That's it. And also, too, defensively, right? You got a back three. You got a good anchor as a striker. So you ain't got to worry about backline or what's going on back there. You know what I'm saying? You're good.
No, but that's the thing though. The striker we're trying to get needs to worry about it because
they do. You have enough surrounding talent that the space creation is done.
I agree. The only time we saw my son play with the Harvard.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap up with this. That's far window.
Yeah. So the only time I saw like even a little finish was when we had a shitty defense at the back. They were just all offense. So I will wrap up by saying my only worry with Haaland was he didn't have Premier League experience, and Chelsea is notoriously known for killing talent in front. That's my own. Torres was doing all these things in Liverpool. The guy came to Chelsea, came a done. Shevchenko was doing all these things.
I think it's a coincidence, though. I think it's a coincidence.
Do you think it's a coincidence, man?
Yeah. The way we played before.
20 years. Abramovich has 18 years. No, sorry.
Because 18 years. You know what's funny? In the past 5 years,
Shevchenko.
In the past 5 years, name top strikers. In the past 5 to 10 years, like the days of like traditional number 9s is kind of fading. Yeah. Like, okay, other than Aguero, Harry Kane.
Even Harry Kane has changed.
No, but who else? Mention like 3 top
Lewandowski
right now. I mean, in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
In the Prem? None.
Yeah. That's my point. So, like, this old traditional, you got to be a number 9 Drogba type. I think football has slightly moved away from that. But I feel like in this day and age, though, you do need finishers. But I don't know if you need the old, I'm a point man, target man type, and this is my role. I mean, that's my view. But all in all,
Ings is another one that fits that
Ings, yes. But those guys, you don't necessarily get a lot of those guys. But anyways, let's sign Lukaku. I will celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
You guys already said it. You guys said the Chelsea will get Lukaku. In my opinion,
this guy is riding Chelsea's D really hard.
Chelsea.
Inca, do you need a transfer form? We still have some.
The guy is setting us up.
No, you guys going. I think he has been on Chelsea's case. Even on last pod, it was making comments, saying Chelsea win the league. So of course, striker is important. That it's critical that you guys need to get. I also think you guys actually need a creative midfielder, in my opinion.
I was going to say that. But I was just going to wait to round up.
I think Chelsea needs a creative midfielder. That's my opinion. In addition to striker, because I feel like Chelsea have too many similar midfielders in different positions. Your attacking midfielders are more goal-scoring midfielders. That's what you have. Mount is goal scoring midfielder. Pulisic is a goal scoring midfielder / winger. Ziyech is the only one. Ziyech is probably the only one that is kind of creative, but he has a limited scope of his creativity. Cutting,
Honestly,
cross to the back
Paya,
post. That's what he likes.
Paya.
Cutting, cross to the back post. Yep.
Yeah, that's all ZH does.
But we created so. Why did we need a creative? Though we created so
No.
much chances last season.
That I'll make a point on you on that one. If you look at every lethal striker you mentioned, from Diego Costa to Didier Drogba, there was always a service. We've had Cesc, we've had Hazard. Like the amount of contribution to goal, the right passes for that striker to be serviced, to bang those goals was just beautiful. Diego, there was a time, I don't know if it was true. Apparently, Costa was playing, and second half, 10 minutes in, he was screaming at Conte to bring Cesc in because he was just already tired of scrapping for goals and he couldn't. And as soon as Cesc came in, we got a goal, right? So this team, all the finishers we have, and you're right, we're creating chances, and I think most of them are falling to Werner. Unfortunately for him, I feel for the guy. But at the same time, if we had a Cesc or a Hazard, as Ayo said, even Werner will be banging goals because we have more than just one chance to miss.
Yeah. Can I say something? But that was a different system, you know. In this system, like what Dada said, in this system, we create a lot of chances from not just the midfielders. Everyone, even Thiago Silva creates chances, you know. But the problem that we have is just converting all those chances to goals. And so for that reason, I don't see any urgent reason to purchase a creative midfielder right now. And I believe that if we must have a creative midfielder, what's his name, Ziyech, can be adopted into that role of creating, because he creates, he knows how to create. So I don't necessarily think we need a creative midfielder right now, if you ask me.
I won't say it's a need. It's a want. It'll be an added bonus. Right now, what we need, like desperately need, is a striker. You know what's interesting about when you get one of those strikers that scores a lot of goals, it also motivates people around you to start scoring. Because you're like, man, this dude is banging it in. Let me get mine. But when Timo miss chance, who does Havertz have to look up to? Everybody has a culture of missing chances. There's no one around who scores.
They stop
Everybody
making
forgets
forward
how to
passes.
score. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all of a sudden they start doubting their decision making. It's
Thank
like
you.
Werner's
By the time
open.
you see Lukaku
so
just banking like 5 goals, you know, all of a sudden you're like, wow.
Well,
so
you know what?
can do this?
You're right. In the beginning of Lampard, when the time we went 15 goals, even in the beginning of season, all of them were banging goals, right? Like all of them were feeling it. So as soon as the goals just stopped, that was when the problem started.
yeah.
Okay. Let me take the last comment then, and David can kick us off with expectations. Nika says if United can't win, Chelsea can go ahead. Can't stand under Liverpool or City winning. Please, if United do not win the league, I don't care who wins the league. I'm just going to keep it 100. If we are not serious enough to take care of business, I don't care who wins the league. That's kind of where I am personally. But I understand your comments. I don't care about rivalry anymore. If we don't win it, I don't care who wins it. City, Liverpool, they can win it for the next 10 years. When we are serious, we'll take care of our shit. Idris, okay, no, sorry. One more comment came in. Samuel says, I would rather drink seawater than Chelsea. That's extreme. That's extreme, but yeah, it's okay.
Samuel, watch your kidneys farm.
I mean, seawater ain't that bad though.
Watch your kidneys farm because
you
just salty all season.
The worst thing to drink than seawater.
What do you expect? Yeah, that's true. Do you expect what? Continental treble? Is that what you expect? You guys are spending the peas, man. We spent these last 2 seasons.
We haven't even spent to.
Are you asking
these last 2
me?
seasons.
Are you asking me what I expect or who?
Yeah, David. Yeah, go ahead, David. It's you. Your turn.
This season, I mean, I think that we'll see an attractive football from Chelsea with chances created. It's not going to be pragmatic. You're going to see a lot of possession. The title is anybody's. The league title is anybody's. I think United is there, City is there, Chelsea's there. Arsenal's not there. Sorry, boys, they're not there. I think Leicester City will do their gra where if somebody's slipping, they might come up. Same thing with Spurs, with a new manager with Santos. I don't know. It's hard to say if Chelsea's going to win it. On paper, yes, we can. But if you look at like Man City with Grealish and all these players that they have, their third squad is good enough to win it too. So I don't know, right? So what I'm hoping for, what I'm really, really hoping for, this is what I've had conversations with the guys, is success to me next season is that whoever wins the league, there's not this 20-point gap or whatever it is that's existing. I want us to close that gap. I want us to be either above 20 points or whoever's winning, it's barely struggling to win it because last game we're right there with them, you know? So like anything more than 6 points gap is a failure for me. So we need to be right there on the top till the end.
No trophy? You don't have any trophy expectations? You don't want any trophy next year?
I think we'll win one at least. I don't know which one, but not Champions League. I don't think it's Champions League, but I think we'll definitely make at least a final. And I think that if it's one final, we're definitely winning one trophy. So maybe FA Cup or, something like that.
Okay. You want to see? Samuel Guerra says, Man United fan here. Oh, Samuel, come on. Oh, you sound like an Arsenal fan. It's a nice one, Samuel. Glory, Man United. Okay. Let's go to Josh. What are expectations for next season, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, alluding to what David just said, I would like to see like a close-up performance. Like in the past 3-4 seasons, there's been these long gaps, except the season where Liverpool really chased City to the very last day of the season. But there's been this disparity between this big difference between the first and the second team. I would like to see tough competition. Clubs are not smiling right now. United purchasing here and there. City trying to get the best of the best. Chelsea, we're waiting on the news for Lukaku. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really competitive. So I expect to see Tuchel implement his system in his first full season. I expect that we play more attractive football. And if we get it going right from the get-go, I believe we could, end the season with 1 or 2 trophies, which will be relatively successful given the amount of competition that exists right now in the Premier League and with these top-class coaches. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, Yeah.
So what's your expectation? Your expectation cannot be keeping your fingers crossed, Josh.
I already said it. Like I expect us to build off of what we achieved last season. Getting to 2 finals and Tuchel implementing his system fully. So I expect like at least 1 trophy. So yeah.
1 trophy, league finish. What? Top 4 that one is minimum.
Top 4, no, top 4 is a must. Top 4 is a must. No excuses with that one. So any trophy that comes by, the EPL, what's the other one called? The smaller one.
The League Cup.
Yeah. First of all, let's start by winning the Super Cup next week. We have a game against Villarreal. So let's open up the season by winning that one first. So that will usher in the needed confidence for our players to thrive this season. So I'm very optimistic, I'm very, very optimistic. And also Tuchel is a very tactical coach, so I trust him. But if he starts messing up, we're getting him.
Chelsea fans, Tuchel for the next 3 years. People should not. This man has won you Champions League for the next 3 years. Nobody should say anything. Nobody should, as DJ always says, nobody should say "pim" for the next 3 years for Tuchel. Are you serious?
What is that? This is Chelsea, bro. This is Chelsea.
I'm with you. I'm with you, AY too as well.
Not when you start going towards relegation. like Mourinho did, like how many seasons ago?
The bar
The guy
is
Mourinho was 16th. Nobody won, So I mean, like you just gotta perform at that, just even if you're not making progress, at least just sustain, at a
bar
level
set.
where
The
people
bar is
won't
set.
start calling for your head, So yeah, that's
The
it.
bar is, he can't perform anything less than he's already set the bar and expectations high, and so for us, anything less is a failure from him.
Okay.
So,
We go to Idris. Considering that you guys, your fixtures, have you guys looked at your fixtures? The beginning fixtures that Chelsea have the toughest schedule starting the season. You guys are playing. I think you guys are playing 4 of the tops. Is it 4 of the top 6 in the first
Doesn't matter,
5 games
man.
or something?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. What are your expectations going to this season, Idris?
Can I be honest?
Considering all of that,
my expectations are tempered. I mean, as I say, tempered. For one reason, history always judges our coaches after a successful season very harshly. So I'm very, very careful with what. Again, when I tell you, like I'm knock on wood, I'm very superstitious with some of these things. When I was like, Haaland is young, Chelsea striker position, coaching. I would hope I hope I can curse, when shit hits the fan, everybody needs to calm down. If we find ourselves in a situation in December, as Lampard found himself, we have an experienced coach. He's not Lampard. He's not young. You understand?
Yeah.
We should be patient because historically, Chelsea our coaches always have massive highs and very bad lows. We need, as long as he's positive and he's trying, we need to just keep him going to come back. We can't have the madness that we are doing, because now I'm sure we just can't. That's my own opinion. We just can't be having the madness. We need to calm down. Also, I don't expect much other than the top 4. Everybody's reinforcing, because what they saw from Chelsea must have freaked out a lot of people, considering the last season, considering the fact that like this coach walked out in Chelsea after being kicked out from PSG. PSG must be mad right now, trying to buy every and anything possible moving. And the fact that we're going for Lukaku is probably making everybody in Europe panic, So I expect everybody to handle us, not as, Tammy is a kid, Timo Werner is young, Mason Mount is young. They're going to come for us. Yeah. They're going to come for us. They're going to come for us. So I expect the top 4. A good run in the Champions League quarterfinal, semi-final. If we make a good run in the Cups, good. But this coach needs to remain this season because the next season, if my beliefs are true, we win it almost all next season. But we can't shit on this guy. The slightest problems we have. That's my only fear.
That's a very, 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 very Idris. That's probably one of the most calmest, most sanest point I've heard you make on Chelsea since I've known you, because you made great points that. Because the thing is, what people forget that the Premier League right now is a coaches' league, right? You have a world-class coach who has won now. There's no, all the back and lash people like Poch and all those guys typically get. He has won probably the biggest trophy in club football, and he's also known practically to be a sound guy. You have that now. He's also known, more importantly, to develop young players. That's what you know for Mainz and Dortmund. Maybe not so PSG. PSG have different model, but you have that. Just you have young players that need to develop, because people forget that because those young players have won, people automatically think they have arrived. No, you can you can punch above your weight in a season. It happens. We've seen that in history so many times, right? Like Chelsea, that Chelsea team is way ahead of schedule with that Champions League win, ahead of schedule. So what you said is critical. Because they are not rebuilding, but they're ahead of schedule. That's what I mean. Just ahead of schedule.
No, we're still rebuilding, bro.
No, you're ahead of schedule. So great, Idris. Don't worry. I'll send you 1 puff for that. That was a good point, Mr.
That's my non-toxic side. That's my non-toxic side.
Non-toxic side. I enjoyed it because normally you're always very, your toxicity.
As I said, I actually changed a bit. Hindsight is 2020, man. Like, Sarri is the one guy that carried his bag and left on the high. I know that I did not like the way we treated him. I swear to God, that guy would have lasted 6 games next season. That is just who we are at Chelsea. That's just who we are. And the fact that he already won a cup, oh my God. If Jorginho misses a pass, we're killing the whole club. So, sorry, I just...
Funny
Yeah,
enough,
what are
I
your
actually
expectations?
think, I think Tuchel's going to do well this season. I'm surprised he's sticking to a back three. I thought it would have just gone to a back four this year, but from the preseason matches, I think he's going to stick to a back three, and that's fine. So my expectations are, so I'll mention the teams that I believe should be challenging for the title in the order of wait. So I'm going to assume that we're getting Lukaku. So my expectation is based on the premise that we are getting Lukaku. If we're not getting Lukaku, you could throw all this to the window. So assuming we're getting Lukaku, here's what I'm expecting. I think my favorite to win it this year is somewhere between United or Chelsea. Those are my favorites to win it this year. Assuming we get not favorites, but I think those two teams should be fighting for the title. I mean, you can never count out City, and then there's also Liverpool. So I think those four teams should be title contenders. And I'm not, and I agree with Josh, not one of those 15 points behind. I'm talking about neck to neck, down to the wire kind of situation. So I think should we get Lukaku, we're automatically in the title contenders conversation, like proper. So we should be pushing for the title. Hopefully we should win it. I'm expecting us, if we get Lukaku, and after the first 5 games, I'm hoping we win the title. Those are my expectations. Champions League, we won it last season. It's extremely difficult to win Champions League back to back. I don't know how the hell Real Madrid did it. It's extremely difficult to win cup matches back to back because there's a lot of luck, momentum that comes into play. So, and also too, now that you don't have the away goals, things get dicey. So I'd say quarterfinals, getting out of the group, winning the second round match. That would be the expectation for Champions League. FA Cup, I'd say semifinal or final or win it. Baseline expectation would be semifinal, and League Cup baseline expectation will be semifinal. So in total, I think minimum expectation will be winning one title. I don't care whatever title it is, but I also care though, because if you win the league, I mean, that's a massive deal. So I think on a minimum League Cup win, semifinals for all the other cups, should we not win it, and then I think really pushing for the league title, because it's been a while we've won the league, and I hate to say this about United though. One thing about not winning the league is if you don't win it in a while, it kind of gets harder every year. You know what I'm saying? Because remember when City won it, they just kind of got in that winning the league mentality, and it now becomes their thing. Same thing with Liverpool. It's kind of like their thing now. And I think Chelsea, we've won it recently enough to where it's still our thing. And once again, no offense to United, I'm not trying to troll in this segment. It's starting to become.
Please troll. No, you're trolling.
No.
Don't say no offense.
No. And I want you guys to chime in. Is the way it works is if United doesn't win it this season, all of a sudden it's no longer their thing, right? So when you step into a season, there's regency. Like, okay, I won this thing 2 years ago. I won this thing 3 years ago. I'm supposed to win it. So the longer you go, it's kind of like it no longer becomes an expectation. So I think that's how it is. So I feel like we do need to win the league this year. If we don't win it, we need to be very, very close. So that way it becomes part of our automatic expectation that, hey, we need to win the league. So, I mean, refresh my memory, guys. Last time we won it was Conte, right? That's 2015?
17.
2017. Okay, 2017. So it's coming on their 5-year mark. After that 5 years, it now becomes history. And we don't want to be that club. So we always want to okay, let's win the league. So this year, honestly, I'll prioritize the league above Champions League. I'll prioritize the league above everything. That's just for me.
Yeah, that's true.
I would agree.
Yeah.
The league is the hardest one. It's harder to win than the Champions League, right? Because it's a marathon. And it's like you got to stay informed the whole time. You have to be consistent, and you have to be really good. And when you have teams
there's no luck
so high, there's no luck there. Champions League, you have one team make a mistake, or they don't show up to play the game properly, and they lose and they get knocked out, right?
Yeah.
It's harder. To me, the league, especially EPL, right now, the level of competition that exists in the EPL, because all those other small teams, all those teams you call small teams, Burnley, they have money now, man. They can
They
buy
got
some
money.
decent players and they
Yeah.
put up a good fight. There's no easy game. There's no easy game at all. It used to be like these are trash games, the ones that used to, stack up your 3 points. Now everybody's fighting and hustling to make sure they don't get held down to a stalemate with these low block teams, or they don't sneak in a goal and lose and stuff like that. So EPL, man, all the way. I think that I really
And
give it to that.
let's not sleep on Spurs. I mean, as I said, United really got me worried this season just because of how they spent. I mean that got me worried. And I mean, second last year, who knows the mentality of the players. Now, one thing that could happen with United is maybe if Ole is not performing, if they get a new coach, that would have me really worried. So we'll see. But for some reason, and I think I told Ayo this offline, I don't see City winning the league. I think mentally they're going to be focused on Champions League. So I mean,
I
I hope
doubt
this is
that. They're too deep. The squad depth is
You're
too
right.
too
Yeah, that's the same
too
thing I
heavy
said.
for
Yeah,
them.
They're just too deep. Yeah.
especially if they get Harry Kane. I mean, like
What? You think
that
they're
team
gonna
is
spend
so
like?
stacked. Have
But
you
could they get
just?
Harry Kane and Grealish in the same year, though?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Harry
Mad.
Kane is already skipping training.
I
You
know,
know,
but then no. I mean, it's one thing to skip training, though. But like, I mean, how can you get Grealish and Kane in 1 year and then you keep? I mean, Aguero went on a free
free.
transfer.
Yeah,
There's nobody else that can sell on that team to make up that differential. I mean,
No, but wait. How much did they make last year though? Because I know everybody's thinking offloading a lot of Chelsea players who fund Lukaku deal. My understanding is actually Tomori deal and a whole bunch of other players have gone. We've raised about 58 mil. That's what I'm
yeah,
hearing.
Also,
Right?
though,
okay.
people forget people forget this though. FFP relaxed. Yeah, for the last 2 weeks. Last
Oh,
season was
so there you
relaxed.
go.
This season is relaxed also. So
I mean,
I
like,
FMP
mean,
is a
but the,
joke.
then yeah, the Sheikh,
it's
the
relaxed.
Sheikh is signing everything, man.
But the thing
The
though,
Sheikh
the
is
thing
signing
though is
everything.
relaxed in it is that it's still going to like compound effect. Like whatever you sign now could possibly hamper you from signing next season, the following season. But the wages thing, yes, that's a good point. But I think that they plan to offload Bernardo Silva. I mean, that's the noise coming out. They want to sell Bernardo Silva
Man,
to
that's
balance the
such a
wage.
solid player. Wow.
Yeah,
I'll take
they're offloading
Bernardo
Bernardo.
Silva.
I'll take
Bernardo is
him.
a
I expect
Barcelona kind of player.
I'll take him. I like him a lot.
And that guy,
In my opinion, let me just
too.
let me wrap up quickly. My opinion, I think Chelsea should be. Well, let me first take comments. Five. Say my final thoughts about Chelsea's expectations. Chelsea will finish behind the two Manchester clubs. We'll see. Can happen. See.
Yeah, it can.
It could be third or fourth depending on Liverpool's performance. Possible. That's true. Also, there's too many unknowns that we don't know. I think Chelsea should be challenging for the league for sure. I think they have the squad, especially if they get a striker. I still think they need it. I still think for them to be like favorites, like neck and neck with City, because City is who I put as favorites right now with Grealish. Well, they argued that squad, I put them as favorites, even without Harry Kane. If Chelsea get a striker like Lukaku, like they're almost getting, I put them neck and neck with City because they're looking ominous. They just won the Champions League. Confidence is there. I think Tuchel won prove a point. He's very confident. And he's needed this for a long time for his career because he's always been looked at like, oh, he's a ideologue. Like he just likes to say, oh, this guy's probably like an ideologue. He's abrasive. He's stubborn. He's a genius but stubborn. There's always been an asterisk on Tuchel all these years. He's won a big trophy now. He seems to like Chelsea. It changes very quickly, but I think there's some people forget about managers fit with the club. He seems to like Chelsea. He speaks very well in press conferences about Chelsea have structure. Like as far as they let him work, he doesn't care about the politics stuff. He's learned from his mistakes in PSG. Blah blah blah. He's very honest, probably too honest. I've said that just before. I think he's too honest sometimes in the press conference. Like, why are you saying that? But I think he's a very good fit for Chelsea. So if they get a striker, I think Chelsea should be favorites along with City, just because of the confidence, the coach, because they have a coach that can give them the extra 15%. They don't have the squad is deep. Probably City is deeper than them, along with maybe United. But of course, he has the extra 15%. That being a world-class coach, I think it's a coaches league. I've been saying that for like last 2 or 3 seasons. And anybody that's going to win the big trophies has to get the extra 15%. And that's the edge I think Chelsea, Liverpool, City have over the rest of the league. You know, they have that coach that gives an extra 15%. Those tight games.
Ole gonna give you 15, bro. Come on now.
No. He doesn't have the extra 15. He doesn't. You know, those tight games to make those decisions to say, okay, this is what we're going to play. I mean, let me just explain very quickly now. For Man City, 8th in December. Yeah, they are like one game in hand or so. Pep makes adjustments to how they play. They become more compact. They go on the run to win the league. Liverpool at their peak. Klopp. Everybody thought, oh, they're going to create through the midfield. What did he do? He devised the plan and was creating through his wings. Before people figure it out, man won Champions League. Oh shit, their midfielders are actually their wingers. Their fullbacks were the creators. Before people figure that out, man has won the Champions League. Tuchel, what he did, he came from the plane. I remember reading that story from the plane. He already knew how to play back three because he had looked at what Chelsea's problem was. Like going forward, they are not scoring goals. So he applied the principle of what we call the short blanket theory. You know, I'm going to cover my leg. He pretty much, the theory of the short blanket is he's going to cover the part that is weak and let the part that is strong figure it out. That's what he did. Defense is weak. He made it more compact, and he knows that if it's compact, they can win 1-0, 2-0. That's what he did and won Champions League. That is the extra 15% that I talk about. It's very, very critical in the big moments. All he does, socializing. He's done well as a good coach. He doesn't have the extra 15%, and that's why I think Chelsea will, if they get Lukaku, I think Chelsea will challenge for the league. Those are my final thoughts about the pod. I think it's a good place to wrap it up and end it. It's already late.
Before you end it, if we don't get Lukaku, where do we end?
We're winning shit. I'm sorry, part of my language.
Chelsea can scrape into fourth.
I don't think we'll scrape. I think we'll comfortably get into fourth. It's just that we
comfortably. I don't know about comfortably.
We'll get into top four comfortably. We won't win.
It depends. No, I take that.
Yeah, I think we can get into top four, but we're not going to win the league.
We're not going to win anything.
There's no way we're winning the league.
It depends, guys. It depends.
Let's start strengthening. Leicester strengthening. Don't forget Leicester.
Leicester think Lampard is manager. It's not.
I think Tuchel has what it takes with this current crop of players to prop us into top four. You know, but without a striker, I don't see us getting the league, and we'll lose the league by a high margin without a striker, because those goals that we're just throwing away last season, they're still gonna keep going away. You know, so it's as simple as that.
My last statement, and then I'm done, is we have Tammy. Tammy can score goals. Worst case scenario, Tammy plays up front, and Tuchel just works around him and just makes it where we're feeding those chances to him. Also, the other thing is everybody was missing chances. It wasn't just Timo Werner. Conte had one-on-ones. Timo had one-on-ones. Kai Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, Mason Mount, everybody. Everybody was missing chances in this Chelsea team. So if you throw Lukaku in there, he'll just join the mix and be. But there's a you know what I mean? There's a bounce.
Lukaku ain't missing no chances, man. Not this Lukaku.
There's a bounce that we're coming back in as Champions League winners. There's a confidence, the confidence of we did that. That's going to change the outlook. You look at the game with Spurs. I paid to watch that. I watched Ziyech shooting from outside. The moment he gets it on his left foot, bam, and he shoots it, it's a goal. That kind of confidence, that like cockiness of like, yeah, I'm going to do that. It makes a difference, man. We'll go next season, play the whole thing, and everybody's scoring. It will be the opposite of last season.
Sorry, even Timo that I'm bashing, at this point doesn't care. He just keeps working. The confidence is there. I'm gonna keep working. We'll get something. So that's why I said top four. May not win, but top four, easy.
Man, let's just get Lukaku. We don't need to be thinking of downside. Let's just get Lukaku, please.
I like that. It's true. The final comment, Samuel Wala is the real G. Says, Tammy no good for championship team. Send him to Leicester. Nah, that's a fair point. I think you bang if Leicester. That's a good point.
I think Atalanta is coming for him because Inter is negotiating with Chelsea right now to give us Lukaku, and then we'll give Atalanta will give Inter their striker. I think I can't remember his name right now, and then we'll give Napata, and then we'll give Atalanta Tammy. So I think that's what is shaking up right now. So yeah, let's see what happens in the next few days.
Okay, Josh. Thank you for coming on. Dada, Idris, David. If you're watching this, we've come to the end. Like, share, subscribe, and we are out.